Welcome everybody to this Helpful Village release webinar of November 19th, 2025. We start with our friends in Cleveland. Somehow they get their faces on our slides every month, but it's a tremendous picture that I love, so it's great. We have them there. This is the agenda for today's meeting. We have some reminders, general information, some news. There is release notes, and there is Q&A at the end of the session. So let's get started right away with reminders and announcements. So here are a couple of resources that ask the team if they can copy paste the links to these very important documents. One is the Helpful Village Training Docs Guide, which is contains a link to all our training docs. The Help Center, it's an interactive website where you can ask questions, and Slack is a collaborative website where villages, we have a conversational website where villages talk to each other and to us. I have to make a few clarifications about dates. We do 2 webinars a month, but this month and next month are a little weird. So what we're gonna do is that so we're having our webinar today, but then next week, usually we would have a Q&A, but it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Everyone is gonna be traveling out of place, etc. So we decided that rather than doing it next week with nobody, we would move it a little bit. And our suggestion is to do the Q&A session on December 10th. And that solves another problem because the fourth Wednesday of December is the 24th of December, which is not a great date either for Q&A. So basically, the Q&A for December, we do 10th of December. And we still do the release webinar on the third Wednesday of the month in December. That will be 17th. So as you know, a release webinar is us announcing changes, and then Q&A is you asking questions and we answer them. So yeah, so we rearranged the dates a little bit. Next Q&A webinar is December 10th. Next release webinar, December 17th. Okay, next. Okay, for the Q&A webinar, we still have some time, it's December 10th, but if you can send your questions ahead of time to this email address, then we can put them in a Google Doc where basically we put all your questions and then we answer them during the webinar. So you can send your questions ahead of time to hvusers@helpfulvillage.com. Sending your questions ahead of time allows us to think about them and give better response. This is also a quick reminder about how to submit a request if you need help from our team, a bug, a request, or any type of request. Just need to go to support.helpfulvillage.com. On the corner at the top right, there is a submit a request that allows you to basically create a ticket. That ticket comes to our team and we process it. There are two different things. One thing is tickets, and for that you go to the help center. It's at support.helpfulvillage.com. But sometimes you don't have a question, you don't have a ticket, but rather you have a new improvement idea. And that is something we ask you to submit on a different website that will go to ask.helpfulvillage.com. We will always take care of the bugs first and then do the improvement ideas later. So those are two different websites. And this one here is Anastasia is gonna just take it on from here with a few reminders. I'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Okay. So hi everybody. Thank you very much for being with us today. And I wanted to share best practices for submitting support tickets with you. So we would deeply appreciate if you could help us and put a clear and descriptive title. For example, issue with the event registration, duplicate users, and also in case you have a problem with any particular user, you could include their name and their email address, so it would help us to find the user and test the issue. And also, if you could describe the problem clearly and describe the step-by-step, everything you were doing, so it would help us to reproduce the issue or any error message that you found. So also, another thing that would be very helpful is the screenshots. So if you have screenshots of the issue or screenshots of the steps, so we would really appreciate if you could add it to the ticket when you're submitting the ticket. Could you please, yes, go to the next slide. And our main channel of communication for bugs and issues, it's our webpage, support.helpfulvillage.com. And obviously we prioritize bugs first and all the critical functionality affected of the platform. and then we try to answer the questions and help you with everything else. If you send us emails, we're going to kindly ask you to submit a ticket, because it's our main channel for addressing bugs and issues. In case you have an urgent ticket, the website is down, etc., please call us. We try to answer our phone like as much as we can. And if something critical arises, so just let us know and just call us. Also, we have Slack community. This is beautiful tool because you can communicate with other villages and you can ask them questions, and probably there are some villages that have a lot of experience and then can share tips, and they can share their experience and they can answer some of your questions. So we have more than 120 villages, so it's really great to build the community together and support each other. Another little announcement we would like to do, we are switching all of our clients to ACH payments, and we would appreciate if you could send us the account number and routing number. You can call us or send us an email, and we will start this process. So it helps everybody to save a lot of time, and we're always on time with the invoicing, and we will keep sending the invoices at the beginning of the month. And after the ACH is set it up, so we would proceed with the payments automatically at the beginning of the following of the invoice month. Next slide. So these ones are benefits of automated payments, and it's as I mentioned, it helps a lot to avoid late fees, and also it's very practical because you don't have to spend your time in invoicing, and you can invest this time in helping more people and doing more beautiful things in your village. In case you need our assistance, you can request a Zoom meeting, and I would be happy to support you in anything you need.
Perfect. So that's are the reminders. Thank you, Anastasia. I'll take over from here and we'll be sharing some news with you very quickly before we move on to release notes. First is we're sharing good news about one of our customers. This is Home in Hilliard, and they're starting operations. They just started this last month, so we wanted to congratulate them for getting their village ready and starting operations with starting recruiting members. So you're welcome to visit their website, and we wanted to say congratulations to Jeannie and the team in Hilliard, Ohio. Other news is that I personally traveled to Boston. There was the Village to Village Network in-person conference in Massachusetts that was attached to the larger Leading Edge conference. The event on the right is a V2V event. Actually, you see on stage, that's the president actually of the board of Beacon Hill and the staff. And I attended their presentation, was very nice. And then on this other larger room is Leading Edge Conference, which is a very, very large conference in aging and essentially run by people that are doing these assisted living facilities and things like that. It's always interesting to see what they do, even if it's not necessarily our core um, target. It was also an opportunity to meet with some of our customers, and it's always a pleasure. It's kind of funny because we met with many Massachusetts customers, but the lady on this picture is our customer from Hawaii. So she had done an even longer trip from than us. I came from San Diego, and then she came from Hawaii, and she was very nice. She gave me some Hawaiian chocolate, and I brought the chocolate all the way back to San Diego. And I have proof for this. I didn't eat the chocolate, I brought it back to the team. So I'm kind of a nice person too sometimes. So thank you for that. And it was a great opportunity to reconnect with all our customers in person. I wish we could do more in-person conferences, maybe in the future. So we will see. This is also a piece of news. These are new documents that have been added to our training docs. So we have added a training doc with password requirements, how members can pay a remaining balance for their membership using the IOU function. There's a list of reports we added a better description of some of these reports, and then how does unable to log in check-in work in rights management. So those are suggestions. I want to thank Paulina for getting these training docs ready, and then you are welcome to go to the help center, support.helpfulvillage.com, and just search any of these, and then you will get there. Our team can also copy those links in the chat if you want to see these training docs there. So that's for the news. And now we start with the fun part. And the fun part is the what is new and the release notes. These new improvements are not on the server yet because we basically announced them first on Wednesday, and then we will put them on the server for everybody this weekend. So we show them to you today, but they are not on your server yet. You need to wait until a few more days until the weekend. First change is one that is funny to me. This one is important because it has been a question we have received from multiple villages. So I'm going to slow down a little bit to explain this one. So we do service requests. This is what happens when a member needs assistance. And basically what the challenge is that when you put a service request, the service request is published to volunteers, but villages sometimes they can have 200, 300 volunteers. We recommend people to run background checks and vet their volunteers, but it's a large amount of people that can see this service request. So what we want to do is that we always want to protect the privacy of members as much as possible. So what we were doing before is that we were not displaying the full address of the member on the service request. We would actually use the street address without the street number. We're just removing it. So basically, when you looked at the map, it was showing you a map that was not very precise sometimes, because if it's a very long road, right, the destination or the origin of the ride was in the middle of that road, but not the exact location. The problem is that, as I was saying, in some cities the streets are very long, and then basically that could be a very long distance from the actual place where the member is. And then so what we changed is that from now on, in the new version that will go out this weekend, we're still preserving the member privacy, but instead of having any just removing the street number, what we're doing is that we're just adding some random. We're just choosing a location close to the member's home. It's actually within a 50 meters range, or 2 minutes walking distance around the member. So I'm going to show that in a slide. It's going to be easier to understand. Also, I want to tell you that the address is seen differently depending on who you are. If you're an admin of the village, we always display the exact addresses for the service request. If you are a matched volunteer, you need the exact address because you need to go to the member's house. But if you're an unmatched volunteer, if you're just looking at the list of service requests, we are not giving you the full address yet. We try to protect the member's privacy. Once the volunteer volunteers for him, then we disclose them more information. This is actually a lot of words. Is easier to see in a sentence here. So basically, the admins, when you have a service request, right? The service request displays like this, and admins and also the matched volunteers, they can see the exact address of the service request. For example, here you see here, this is my mom's. In the demo site, is the exact address is 137 East, 116th Street, and then we display the full address for the admin. But then what we were doing before is that if you're just an unmatched volunteer, you would not see the 137, you would just see the 116th Street, somewhere around there. So in the new version, what we do, right, is that we add basically a little bit of a first email address, and then we give you a range. So here in this address, you see this is without the number, but we are in a much closer range. We're within 50 meters of the actual address of the member. Okay, so basically we can discuss this about Q&A, but basically what we're doing is that now we're protecting the privacy of the member. We are not disclosing the exact address, but we are using an address that is a lot closer to the member than just removing the street number. Okay, this is another improvement we're adding this month, and this has to do with driver license and insurance expiration dates. So as you might remember, if you have been with us for a while, on the 25th of each month, we sent to the village administrator an email saying all drivers that have approaching or expired driver licenses or insurance numbers, So what we were asking you to do was to contact each one of them, right? Asking them for proof of insurance and the driver license. But this is something you were manually writing those emails, and we had a request, an improvement idea. Actually, this was this idea from Mary Donovan, actually from Redbrook neighbors in Plymouth, saying, well, it would be a little easier if we allow to have these variables in the email template. So now we added some variables: the volunteer driver license number, the volunteer driver license expiration date, the volunteer insurance company, volunteer insurance number, and volunteer insurance expiration date. If you use those variables in the email templates, those variables will be replaced with the actual values for that specific volunteer. So you can create an email template in email templates. You can use those variables. And if one of your volunteers has expiring driver license or insurance, just hit send and we will replace those variables for you. Okay, now we have other improvements or problem fixes. So we were reported by some villages that sometimes we were sending to event attendees multiple reminder emails for the same event, causing some confusion and basically inbox clutter. So we were surprised at first. We thought villages were sending the reminder multiple times to event participants, but actually no. I kept investigating and we finally found the problem. So the problem was that we have basically job in the scheduler that is sending the event reminders the day before, right? But this job, when we switch the servers, right? These jobs were trying to be smarter, and if there is an error or a mistake, basically the job retries after some time. And what was happening with some events is that if one of the event participants had a invalid email address because they had a typo or something like that, then the job was failing. And because the job was trying to be smart or a good boy, he was retrying himself to send to everybody. But then sometimes just because one person had a typo in their email address, the email was going out, 5, 6 times to the people that did not have the email addresses. So we just had a little talk with our job, and I told him not to do that. That if there is a problem with one email address, that's fine, and he doesn't need to send the email 5 times to the people that enter their email addresses correctly. So this is not something that was happening every time. Usually it happened for very large events, because if you have 100 participants and one of them made a mistake with the email address, well then because that one error was detected, we were retrying the full reminder email. Anyways, if you did not have this problem, you don't need to worry about that. If you had a problem of your attendees receiving multiple reminder emails, that will stop because we found the issue. Okay, this one is not a bug. This is an improvement with navigation, okay? So I don't know if you're familiar with these buttons, but basically if you were going under admin settings and reporting docs, at the bottom of that page, you had basically a way to find your list of donations, your list of payments, your list of IOUs, and this button to connect to credit card payments with Stripe. This is what we were doing before. Actually, on the page of reports, you had all of these reports, and at the bottom, you had these other things that were not reports. It's just a list to interactive list of donations, interactive list of payments, or IOUs. I initially put them there because I didn't know where to put them, these buttons, but actually spoke with the team. Actually, this was Anastasia's idea. And now it makes a little bit more sense. So we moved those links, right? So now if you go in the menu under admin financial management, right? Now there you can find the interactive list of payments, the interactive list of donations, the fundraising campaigns, and the IOUs. So basically just it's a navigation change. We remove the button from the reporting area because those are not reports. And we move them into admin, where under financial management, you find these financial objects. So, well, thank you, Anastasia, for this idea. This is a good improvement. One of the buttons that changed is financial management. So as you saw here in the financial management, you could have all these buttons for payments, donations, and IOUs. But the button for connecting credit card payments, we thought it would make more sense if we moved it to admin settings money. And then basically, if you have not connected your credit card, your Stripe account for credit card payments, you can do so going to admin settings money, and then the button to connect your Stripe account, it will be there. Actually, by the way, you should go check there because each village can have up to two Stripe accounts. The reason for this is that Stripe gives discounts for nonprofit organizations for their donations. So if you're not getting the nonprofit discount from Stripe, you will need to use this functionality to get the discount on second donations account from Stripe. Okay, these are other improvements. We realized that on the volunteer profile, we had these other fields like the volunteer start date and the volunteer end date, and also the driver insurance expiration dates were not on the volunteer reports. So we just added to the spreadsheet file reports. Now you can find there the volunteer since and the volunteer end date, and also the insurance expiration date and driver license expiration date will be on the volunteers reports as they should have always been, but we had forgotten them. So someone let us know and we added them there. There is a new checkbox. We have a new checkbox. We were working, this is an interesting project actually, and this is a very small detail, but basically working with a village in Virginia. Um, they needed to have a checkbox in the personal profile, additional info to say if a person had a disability or not. So it's just a checkbox. You can go there for any person in your village. You can check that box, and that tells you if this person has a disability or not. So while the checkbox is not revolutionary, what was revolutionary and really interesting is that they were talking with their different local provider, transportation provider, or an aging services agency locally. And what they did is that they have made an arrangement for transportation, and then basically the village gets refunded for each ride that they do, or the volunteer gets also refunded. I don't know, but basically some of the rides that the village was doing, now they get money from the transportation agency because the transportation agency is now counting those rides as the services that they do, and basically the village is a provider of rides. I mean, it's a win-win association because basically the village is doing the same work they were doing before, but now they're getting receiving some money for it. And for the transportation agency, it's also interesting because they found a cheaper way to get the rights done. So we needed to add this checkbox here, and we also produced a specific report that they needed. So basically, now we produce a report of the rights that they do, and they needed to know if those rights were for people with disability or not. That's why we added the checkbox. So basically, if I summarize, we added a checkbox in the additional info, and the second major information is that villages are getting funded locally for the transportation requests that they do. And then if you need a report from us showing how many rides have you done or things like that, you can ask us, and then we love to help you get more money. This is another improvement. This is an improvement we did with West Orange in Florida. Actually, they were creating some events, and those events you can sell tickets on the website. When you sell tickets, you need to create ticket types for that event. And for those ticket types, you need to give them a name. You need to say how many tickets you're creating. For example, you can create 20 tickets for members and 20 other tickets for non-members. And the tickets for members could be $10. The tickets for non-members could be $15, something like that, right? And we had that before, but they had an issue because basically the membership types had some empty fields. They had created them without a price or an available ticket or number of available tickets, but then the software would break because it was expecting those values to be in existence. So what we did is that now when you create ticket types for an event, the available tickets, number of available tickets, and the price are now mandatory fields. So if you forget them, the software will not allow it. So basically, we'll let you know, okay, well, you need to provide a number of available tickets and prices. And then now, because we do that, you have better ticket types, and then you don't have a problem selling your ticket. So that's also an improvement there. Okay, and this might be my last slide, and it's a little improvement. What this was, I don't know who reported this. I could almost remember. So when users, I think it's Carol from Bay to Sound. So we have Bay to Sound in force today, so they'll be happy about this one. When we were creating an email with the email messenger, some fields are required. For example, if you forget a title on the email, we don't allow you to send an email to, I don't know, to your mailing list of 1,000 people without a title. That would look bad. So the system in Helpful Village will ask you, okay, well, you need a title for this email, and then also you need to choose a mailing list that you're sending it to. So there is a few checks that we do, but then when we're doing those checks, if one of these things was missing, we were not reloading the editor. So suddenly you saw a text only version of the editor, and then that caused problems when saving the message if you had made a mistake with the title or something like that. So this is also more of a bug fixing. If you have a problem creating your message, we make sure that we load the editor for you, and then so that you can continue creating your email message and send it out without seeing anything funny. And with that one, we have all the improvements of the month that have been listed. We can open up to Q&A, and the first thing I want to do for Q&A is open it up for you. I have not read the chat, but just want to make sure that everyone understands this change, because this change will have an impact on your operations. And if someone has questions about this specific topic, I would start here. And then if you have questions about any other topic, we can discuss any other topic. I think we have one or two questions also because we're kind of mixing up for Q&A today.
Yes, we have a question from Christy.
Yes.
She's asking if do they still get an immediate email confirmation?
Yeah. For the emails, yes.
That was about
Mhm.
when you were saying they wouldn't get, for event registration, they wouldn't be getting multiple reminders,
Yeah.
but they still get a confirmation right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. So when someone registers for an event, they get a confirmation email right away. And then villages have the option to activate reminders the day before an event happens. And that reminder email is something that is done automatically by this robot or job, and then basically this job was trying to be too smart and trying to retry multiple times to get all emails delivered. But obviously that was failing, because if there is a typo in an email address, you can try as many times as you want. Those will not get delivered. So we needed to talk back to our. We needed just to change it so that there is only one reminder email per day.
Thank you.
Cool. Perfect.
There is another question when these changes are
Mhm.
going to occur, if it's going to be on Sunday, November 23rd.
Yeah, usually it's Saturday or Sunday. So I like doing that during the weekend so that it's off time when people are not in the office. I need to check on my family schedule to see what the kids are doing, but it can be one of the 2 days. What we will do is that we can post it on Slack, right? When we are deploying, so that people know, if there is a small downtime. Usually deploying the new version to the server, that's something that can be done with a 4-minute downtime, because we need to restart the server and install the new version and stuff like that. But if you want to know exactly what time the deployment is being made, you can check on Slack.
Yes, and normally it's closer to the end of the month, right?
Well, it's usually the week. I mean, it is the weekend that follows the release webinar, so it would be this weekend. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we have
Okay.
other questions?
Yes. Would you like, Christy, would you like to ask your question by yourself?
Sure. I just wanted to clarify, you have so many ways to reach you for different needs. And I
Mhm.
just wanted to know if we have something that's very village specific,
Mhm.
like if it's payment related, something like that, do we create a support ticket for that? Or do we
Yeah.
email HV users or one of you directly? I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I get the right
Okay.
channel.
Cool. Yeah. So it's here. So HV users is only for questions. So for questions that go into the Q&A webinar. So you don't use that one. Um, Usually, I would say the thing is, like, our preferred channel is the ticket, because if the ticket it stays there, it doesn't go away. With the email, things get lost and stuff like that. So I would always go with a ticket if it is a problem we need to take care of. Uh, if it's an improvement or something, that would change, well, that doesn't need kind of, it can be done at a later time. That goes to ask.helpfulvillage, but it is here. Email is, when we ask you for some stuff, but basically the ticket would be the preferred method.
Thank you.
Cool.
There is one more question from Carol.
Okay.
Are there check-ins improvements this month? And thought Manuel was covering this.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we had other specific. I know we fixed something. This Carol is way too sound, I think, but I think we had a bug that we fixed for you, but it's already on your server. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the new rights for check-ins
Yes.
so that we didn't have to make them an admin to,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
review.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we did that too. I don't know if we did this month or the previous month, but there's a new. Let me show you. Up here. You need to close this presentation. Wait a minute. Oh, here, and then here, and then in
Okay.
Filipino. Okay, and this one is funny because I don't have admin right. I can fix that. Give me a second. I know you cannot see what I'm doing, but I'm connecting to the server. And then I'm gonna give me admin rights, and then I can show you something. It's okay, and then I'm gonna give me the role of an admin. Okay, perfect. And then here now I can refresh. I know that I'm not an admin, by the way, because if I look here, you see I cannot search a person.
Ah,
And then if I now I'm an admin, now I can search a person.
yeah.
Mm. And then if I go here, Manuel, we added this. And I don't know if I forgot in the announcement. Basically, if you go under the general tab, I'm going a little quickly. So this is the personal profile of any person in the database, and you have all these tabs, contact information, tags. And then if you go down there, the
Oh,
admin can see the rights of people, and then you can be a full admin with all rights, or you can not necessarily be a full admin, but you can be different things. And one thing that we added is that now we have a check-ins manager. So
excellent.
if you're using the check-ins module, before we didn't have this specific role, so you needed to give people that were checking on check-ins, right? They were given admin roles, but that's not ideal because they could go into financials and treasurer stuff, and that they didn't need to see. Is a lot better if they have more specific rights. And we created a new manager role that is a check-ins manager, and this check-ins manager can do the check-ins business without doing the rest of the business.
Excellent. Manuel, one follow-on question to that. So
Yeah.
would that mean that the check-ins manager with those rights could enter another volunteer's check-in information?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the one issue that
Yeah.
we were having.
Basically,
Okay.
if we go here for people that are not as familiar with the check-in module, they can come here, see the village buddies,
Yeah.
and then there, yeah, you can see your matching between your volunteers and your members, right, that are doing their check-ins. Usually, though, your volunteers can do this by themselves. So I'm checking in on my sister. My sister's doing great. I know. Oh, yes, it is. I'm checking on my sister. Um, but then if you have one of your volunteers that is reporting a check-in, but they don't do it themselves, an admin can go, or the check-ins manager can go, and then basically create the service, basically the check-in information, put the notes, and then create it for them. And you can come here and say that the person that did it is this other volunteer. Insert a volunteer.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay, great.
cool.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Yes. Do we have other questions?
Yes, we have another one
Mm-hmm.
from Laura
Mm-hmm.
from Mito at Home.
Mm-hmm.
And for the new driver's license and insurance expiration emails, can we automate that ourselves, or do we have to request that?
Is a great question. So go back into it. Give me a second because I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna show you the email that you receive. It's expiring driver license. I'm gonna show you the full process. Actually, I cannot do it. Okay. Okay. I had an idea that I I cannot do. Um, but I can explain what happened. What am I sharing now? Stop a second. Give me a second. I don't know what happened. Just went crazy here. I wanted to show you my email with the volunteer driving expiring permits, but actually now I thought it's not a good idea to show you because we are posting our videos on YouTube. But YouTube, when they feel that there is kind of personal names and privacy issues, they flag down the video and then they take it offline. So I prefer not doing it. But there is an email here you can see on the right tab where we send an email to the village administrator saying all these 25, 30 people have approaching expiring driver licenses and things like that. And then from there, you can click on the name of the person and it will take you here. And from that email of the person that is expiring, it would take you here. And actually, I'm going to simulate it for real. So I'm going to go to my volunteer profile. I'm going to say that this is my volunteer end date. No, my expiration date. I'm going to say that this is 16, 10, 16, 2025. And also this is going to be 17, 2025, right? So I'm setting that this is, I have an expired driver license and expired insurance. I'm going to save this information here. So now I'm going to do two things. You need to come here, settings. Under settings, you can go to email and then email templates. Oh, here, we need a proof of insurance. So I created an email template. And then here is your F name. We need, I mean, you can have better language than this, right? We need a proof of auto insurance. It's set to expire in 2 days. I'm going to change this. And then now I can come here. I can do insert. I can do insert template. In the insert template, I can come down. And then at the bottom of this list, there is the merge fields that we use for different things. And then for volunteers, this includes the variables here. You see, volunteer driver license, volunteer driver insurance, etc. So I can insert them here, and you see now I have all my variables that are used here. And now you can we need proof of auto insurance. Our records show we have driver license expiration date set to. You can do something like this, and then I would do this. I kind of like putting this in blue personally, but this is just styling. You don't need to change colors, but and then also insurance. I got tired of writing pretty, so I'm gonna go very short. Expiration date, and I can take well, this variable I already used, and then I can do this into company. About your insurance. And then this is this. This one here is insurance policy number. And then I have one more variable here, which is you don't need to use all of the variables. Insurance. You can use some or the ones you want, and then I'm going to change color for this one just because I'm fancy. Blue, blue, blue. Not this email and not proof of insurance in PDF format or whatever you need. Or okay. So now I have my template set. Now the template, you can choose the title. This is the email that will go out. We need a proof, and we need a new proof of insurance. Okay. And then you can choose the email category, and here is like it is an email template that is for payment for event, but it's actually for volunteer services. So this is good. And then here you can hook these email templates with automatic actions. For example, this one could be hooked up with every time you receive a volunteer application confirmation or a background check, but then there is no auto task or hook for the expiration date. So this is not being sent automatically. This is just creating an email template that is ready for you, and then I'm gonna save it. Okay, so it looks a little bit like this. And now what I'm going to do is just use that template. So if I go to Manuel, and even from the email here, you click on my name's profile, it would take me here. From the email, I can click on my name. If my insurance is expiring, it would take me here. The admins can come here, go to activity. Under activity, I have a lot of information on my demo site, but then send email to this person. And then from here, you can choose the email template. And the email template is, we need a new proof of insurance. You see, and now the information comes here automatically, like the text that we created, and then the expiration date for the driver license is in, the expiration date, and the type of insurance, and the policy number that I have. So basically, I just need to select the template and just hit send, and then that will send me the email. So we made it a lot quicker, basically, because you don't need to type the email, just need to click, click, click. But I understand the question is like, okay, we made it a lot easier, but you still have 2, 3 clicks. Can we make this automatic? So it's a good question. For now, we are always cautious in this first step. We wanted to, well, get information from you to see if you wanted to customize the message or add this or that or something different. But then potentially we could create an auto task that could send that email. You could use that email template out to other people. So that is not done. So the auto task is not set, but the creation of the email template with those variables is set.
So can I ask another question?
Yeah.
So, because we wanted to, right now for our expiring memberships, there's one that goes out a month in advance, and there's one that goes when it expires.
Yes.
We would like to do, well, one, I'd like to automate the expired one instead of having to click it, but I'd also like to do another 2-week reminder.
Okay, wait.
Is
So,
that something
but
that
now are we talking about membership right now?
Yes.
It's for membership renewals.
But
Yeah.
it's-
So that one is automatic. So it's good. Let me show you.
No, but
Oh,
But no, I know how to do the automatic for the 1 month,
Yeah.
but for expiration doesn't go automatically, but I'd also like a 2-week reminder.
yeah. But we can,
Is that
yeah,
something
we can set it up for you. So if you go down here under membership, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You have up to 3 templates. So the one that you have active is this one that I believe you're sending, if I understand. It's like 1 month before the expiration date, we send the email template for Autotask with a renew notice. This one, I think this one is activated for you. But then you can use 2 more. So you can create
And
another.
how do I make this happen? Do I have to ask you to do that, or I have somewhere I can do that?
So you can do 2 things. You can create the template first and put the auto task to it, and then adding it here is a scheduler. You need to create a ticket and we can do it for you. You just need to tell us, okay, Manuel, we want it 10 days before, or we want it on expiration date. So this here, you can choose whatever you want, right? And then you just tell us, like 30 days before, we use renew notice 1, X days before, we use renew notice 2, and then on expiration date or even after expiration date, we send renew notice 3. So that can be, but you adapt the language you want. So basically, you can create the templates, and if you want to create those templates, it's the same thing, right? You go to email templates.
Yeah.
And then here you create a new template, and then this one will be renew now. And then you go here, and this is a membership. And then here is good. You see, you have this association with the auto task. So the one you have already is renew notice. This one is set for you. Then you need to create the new template you're creating. You can associate it with the second auto task. The auto task, even if you do it, it has not been scheduled yet. So these 2 different things. You need to create the template, put it on the auto task, and then send a ticket to us so that we can add it to the scheduler. And when we add it to the scheduler, it will be visible under admin settings membership.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Cool. Perfect. It's a perfectly timed question because it's about also this email template about the driver license. It's a very kind of the same philosophy of trying to save you time at the office so that you don't need to do this. So this is really cool. Do we have other questions?
Yes, we have several questions more.
Mhm.
Robin is asking, are there any plans to enhance the search capability in Helpful Village?
Well, search of what? There's a thousand things you can search. So if you go to service requests, right?
Sorry, specifically searching a person. You know,
Well,
if you're looking for someone. Yeah.
so first thing is that you have, I'm sure you're aware of this quick search, right? And then this quick search is already smart in a way because you can search more than a person. So you can search a phone number. Typically, you can find the person. Actually, you can also search with the email address. So these things will be quicker than just the name. See, if I type because email addresses are unique in the system. So if you happen to remember the email address of the person, it will take you immediately there. If you don't remember the email address or the phone number, you can also just type the name. But then obviously, as you can see here, there's multiple Acevedos because I do many tests. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you is when I did a search, actually it took me to the old people. And then old people, because I need to choose from that. At the bottom of this one, there's more advanced search capabilities that I don't know if you saw. The other thing that and you don't know how to get to this page, you can, I mean, we're showing this page when there's multiple results for your search. You can also get to this page if you do admin, people management, all people, it's the same page. And then if you click all people, you will get here, and then you can have these more advanced search capabilities. So if you want to search only the active members that live in this other zip code that has this tag, etc. So it's a combination of all of these things. I don't know if
Sure.
you were aware of this.
Yes, thank you. Those sort of filters
Yes.
are good and sometimes helpful.
Okay.
I'm maybe just used to like maybe more friendly, like if there's a space in it, or like Mac, Google, or something like that. You know, sort of coming back with some options instead of like it has to be an exact match or I get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering if there was anything on the roadmap for something like that.
It's not in the roadmap. I see what you're saying. What are you talking about? For example, approximative kind of spelling like this.
Yeah, and coming back with some options, or there's been times when there's a space like between like folks that are like Van Buren or MacDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So definitely, right? If you have someone in the database like this, it will expect the dash, and if you forget the dash and you go like this, it will not find the person because it's two different strings. Obviously, generally it's possible in technology. Obviously, Google does it and other people does it. It's not impossible for us to do, but we don't have short-term plans for going into that at this time. But now, one thing that I would say is not coding change, but sometimes kind of a technique, right? If you have a question about Van Buren and you don't know if there's Van Buren, there is a dash or something like that, just remove it, and then I would go with just Buren, actually. So sometimes a good technique to do is just, rather than typing the full name, just typing the part you're sure that is the most unusual, right? For example, if you have someone that is called Smith, Schweitzer. Well, then rather than searching Smith, it's better to just, search the more complicated part of it because it will be less frequent. And then if you don't remember the full word, it's for Van Buren, but you're sure about the Buren, well then just remove Van because we're gonna search this substring in the database. There's no Buren in my database.
Sure. Yeah, I've been taking advantage of some of those. I've been learning as I go to do it that way. It's just, yeah.
Yep.
I got spoiled by Google.
Exactly. But Google and us is pretty much the same thing. We have about the same budget, and we launch the same amount of improvements every month.
Yeah.
So,
engineers, all that, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same number of engineers. Sometimes I cannot find, remember the names of all the engineers we have. No, no.
that there
Well,
is
no, we always like making improvements, and we hear you, right? I understand it's better if you don't remember the exact kind of spelling, but it's just a matter of prioritizing what are the things we want to work on first. We're working on things and improvement for payments and new things.
Sure.
One will have to wait a little bit. Cool. We have another. Do we have other questions?
Yes, we have a question from Fran Brooks from Vashon Senior Center.
Washington State.
I have a new requirement. I need to track time that I spend supporting seniors
Oh, cool.
beyond scheduling their requests.
Yes.
Is there an existing way to do that in Helpful Village?
Yes. So first thing, let me show you a few things, right? So first thing I thought of is just there's a reporting hours module. This module is not necessarily activated for all villages. Some people either removed it at a point of time, or I don't know, but basically this module is included for all villages. So if you want to have it and it's not visible, just let us know, create a ticket and we'll create it for you. When you go in here, right, it's reporting hours, and that basically allows you to find a person. This would be me. And then you choose a type of service. And this is a type of, all of these are the village builder activities. So these are activities that you do for the village. So, and this is customizable. So if you say that this is you can create a new activity here. You wanna do it? We can do it. What was the name of the activity we wanted? Did we say? Anastasia, what was it? It's
give me a second.
we can call it service request creation or something. Oh, no, we have one that is
Supporting seniors.
Supporting seniors.
Reporting.
Supporting.
Supporting seniors. Okay, well, you can call it anyway. So, and we can edit it, but let's try it. Well, let me go slowly because I'm going too fast. I did this. People management groups. Under groups, you have the volunteer services, things that you do for a specific member, right? And this is what is visible in the service requests. And then this one is village builders, is activities that you do for the organization. So if it's in this case, you can go in village builders, and then you can create a new group here, which will become a new volunteer activity of type village builders, and is supporting seniors. And then you can write a description if you want, and then you can just save. So now that we saved it, right, you have this customizable list that does administration, answering phones, and then somewhere here, supporting seniors is this alphabetically ordered. You have this person. Then you can come here, see the details of this group, and then you can add a person you want. For example, here, I'm going to add Christina. And then I can add also myself. So we have basically 2 volunteers that are doing this. And now if I go to reporting hours, I can search myself or Christina, that is the other volunteer. I can choose the volunteer hour, and now that we added here in the village builder activities, it is visible here, right? And I can say that today I did this work from 11:30 to 12:15, and just save it. And that's it. That's recording the number of hours that you have completed doing whatever task, right? And then you can edit here. And then you can add some comments here. It's like a time used creating service request. Or whatever other comment you want to have. That's free text you can have there. And then you can go to the list of office hours, and they're here. If you come to this, right, and you don't have, depending on the task, I like it here when it's kind of more timed, kind of 11:30 to 12:15. Depending on the task, sometimes I know some villages have people that are working on larger tasks, like creating a marketing plan or something like that. People do it. You can click on, oops, forgot to report my hours. Need to send grand total of hours. So you can also come here and say, okay, I spent 3.5 hours working on this thing today. Yeah, okay, and then you can save. So basically, yeah, 3 hours completed. And then when you do that, right, you can go to reports, reporting docs, and then you can pull a report here with these voluntary activities here, the reporting hours. So all of these entries that we entered, you can pull a spreadsheet report and then add up those numbers at the end of the month or anything like that. Make sense? Okay, is that good? I don't know if I lost Anastasia because she's not moving. Oh, she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, no, because I was wondering, we have another last question, see 58. So
Okay.
the last thing for Fran, you should go in and check, right, if this works for you. And if this link is not here, reporting hours, if it's not under volunteers, let us know. We can definitely activate that module for you. And then Anastasia, I don't know if you had this one last question.
I think we covered everything. Please let us know if you have more questions or
I have
if we
one.
missed something. Yes, please.
Perfect.
My last question is the preferred name field one of the fields that can be added to an email template?
Boom. Okay, I like that. Let's go check. I don't remember. But admin settings. And then if I go to email and email templates, and then let's say that we have here, we're going to go back to we need a new proof of insurance. And then here, you can always go insert like we did before. So I'm happy to show this twice because it's a little different, but you have more merge fields. So you can go into templates. Templates, when you go into templates, that is graphic elements you can insert. So this is kind of, you can add some, 2 columns with some design element you can add there. And it also includes the merge fields. And so for the merge fields, there are merge fields that we saw before for volunteering, right? And those were the expiration dates for driver license, but there are also merge fields for membership, expiration dates of the membership and membership types, etc. And then here, there are the merge fields for a person. And then you choose this one, it tells you what are the available variables. So you have first name, P name is preferred name. And then last name salutation. So one thing you can do 2 things. Here's just a way to find it. So I could typically come here with P name, just copy it, right? And that's it. That's all I need. Or if I click save, it's going to add all the variables and then I get rid of the variables I don't need. But then now let's just do it right here. We had F name, it is first name, and then P name is going to be preferred name. I'm going to save this.
And will that fall back to the first name if the preferred name field is empty?
Ooh.
Question part 2.
I'm going to
Good
try.
one.
Okay, so my preferred name, I'm going to make this weird, but I'm going to call myself Miguel. And then update activity. And then here, proof of insurance. Yeah, it's using so you can use the preferred name. See, you got it here. And then will it fall back if what is it? if preferred name is empty. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's try that.
You can use my account.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy because basically it's kind of a game for me, and then I'm sure. First, I'm not even sure you can save a record. No, actually,
You should delete preferred
exactly.
name, not the
Exactly right.
first name.
Thank you. So we do this.
Let's see.
Okay, I don't want to do it. It's not gonna work. But Susan, it will not gonna work, but you'll have it for next month for December release.
Well, I can make a feature request.
Yeah, exactly, because I like the game. Oh my God, it's working! Of course.
Well done.
Oh my God. How dare you doubt us? Of course it's not gonna work because it makes so much sense. Sorry, I'm losing my mind after 1 hour. It was funny. I thought it would not work, but it is working. You can use preferred name and it will default back to first name if nothing is there. So I guess that's good news. Okay, so now that we made Susan happy, I think we should put an end to this webinar. It was great to see you, and I look forward to seeing you again. We will put some news on Slack about the next dates because we're not doing Q&A next week because it's Thanksgiving. So I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving and travels to everybody that is spending time with the families. And we will meet again for Q&A on December 10th. Thank you, everybody. We will post the recording. We'll post the recording.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.